Hi, myself Yogeshwari. Today we are going to create a Pacman maze game in Scratch. So let me show you the output of the project, how it's going to look after we are completing the project. So can you see it? So there's going to be a Pacman which is going to move all the four sides, and we need to catch all the coins to increase our points, and also there is lives which is a star. So if I'm touching the lives, I will get one extra lives to survive, even if I'm touching the ghost. So like this. So I got one extra life. So now let's see by touching the ghost whether I'm surviving or not. Okay, let me touch it. Okay. So I went to the starting position again after touching the ghost. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch it one more time. At this time, surely I'm going to die because I just catched one power up. So I can able to survive only for one time. So now let's see. Let's touch it. Oh, it went down. It's done. The game was over. So let's see how to create this. So here I'm ready with all the assets. I'm ready with the backdrop. I'm ready with all the four sprites, 4 ghosts and 1 Pacman. So in Pacman there are actually 2 costumes. One is complete Pacman and another one is which is slightly cutted. This is to make a Pacman look like it's eating something. So I hope you can see the animation. So we will use the animation effect over here. And then, so there are 4 ghosts. We are going to make all these 4 ghosts move over all over the screen. In the sense, all these 4 ghosts is going to move all over the maze. So now let's get started with the Pacman. So what this Pacman is going to do actually? This Pacman is going to move left, right, top to bottom. Am I right? So now, and also this Pacman maze game includes a non-pausable walls concept. So that means whenever if I'm just touching this blue line, I can't able to move this. My Pacman will stuck over here. So that is called as non-pausable walls concept. So first let me have the animation effect of this one. That would look even more better. Yes. So now, so when this Pacman is going to move, whenever I'm clicking my arrow keys, right? So if I'm clicking on the right arrow, it's going to move towards right side. If I'm clicking on left arrow, it's going to move towards left side. Same follows for top and bottom as well. So now let's get started. First, I'm going to use an event when flag clicked. So whenever the flag is clicked, I want my Pacman to go to this position. To make it go to a particular position, we are going to use a block called go to XY. So whenever the game starts, I want my Pacman to start from here. So even if I'm clicking it over here and I'm clicking on the flag, as you can see, it went to that starting position. So this is good. Now we need to make the movement for arrow keys, right? So first, let's start with forever block. Whenever we are using the if block for motion, so at the time definitely we would need a forever block. Now let me take if block. Now inside this if block, if what happens, this Pacman needs to do what? So that's the question. So if right arrow key is pressed, it needs to move towards right side. So that is the solution. So I'll go to sensing. I'll change this one as right arrow. If key is right arrow pressed, how can we make a sprite move towards right side? So to make a sprite move towards a right side, we have to take change X by, because left and right includes change X, top and bottom includes change Y. So I'll say change X by positive 5. So let's see how it's working. Great, it's working perfectly. But there is one mistake. As I said earlier, so this Pacman maze game concept is non-possible walls. This Pacman should not cross this blue wall. So it should stand at the same point whenever it's touching the blue color line. Right. So let's see how to do that. I'm going to take another if block. I'm going to put it inside the same if block. And I'm going to take a sensing tool. I'm going to say if touching color. What color? The blue color which is there in all over the maze. Okay, so I don't want to make my Pacman move whenever it's touching this blue color line. So how can we make it stop move? Definitely we can't able to use stop all. So that means it will stop the whole game. Here I just want to make my Pacman stop moving whenever it's touching the blue color. So what I'll say is, whenever we want our Pacman to move towards right side, we are saying change x by 5. At the time, I'm having another condition. If it's touching the blue color, I'm going to say change x by minus 5. So 5 minus 5, the answer will be 0. Then our Pacman will move 0 steps. That means it won't move at all. So let's see how it's working. Great, so it's working perfectly. So now we are going to do the same thing for the left arrow. I'll duplicate it. I'll put it over here. I'll change this right arrow to left arrow and change x by 5 to negative 5. And this negative 5 to positive 5. So that we will get 0 again. So let's see how left arrow is working now. Great. So now both left arrow and right arrows are working. So I'll stop this. Now let's see how to do for top and bottom. So as I said earlier, so left and right includes x, top and bottom includes y. So again, if block, sensing if key up arrow pressed, obviously we need to change y. So whenever it needs to go up, we need to say it as positive. Change y by positive 5. And then again, I'll take another if block for the sensing color. If touching blue, change y by 5. To make it stop moving, we need to say change y by negative 5. So the steps will be 0. So our Pacman will stay at the same position. Change y by negative 5. I'll duplicate it. I'll do for left arrow. Down arrow. So if key down arrow pressed, change y by negative 5. If touching color, change y by positive 5. So let's see. Perfect. Cool. So now we are done with the motion of the Pacman. So now our Pacman is moving perfectly all over the maze with the non-possible world concepts. So we are done with the movement of the Pacman. So let's see that. Yes, so what is the next thing needs to be done is animation for the Pacman to make it look even more good. For example, if I'm clicking on the left arrow, I want it to face towards left side. So as same for top and bottom. So how can we do that? So first I'm going to say set rotation all around. So it can rotate all around the screen. So set rotation style all around. Then. So now I'm going to use point and direction to make my Pacman sprite point towards a particular direction whenever it's moving. So it would be 90 degree. Can you see the arrow mark? It pointing towards right. So we have to use point in direction 90 degree for right arrow. So now for left arrow, point in direction negative 90. As you can see, now it's pointing towards left. It follows the same for up and down. So let's do that. Yes, it's done. So now let's see how it's working. Can you see? Now it's more responsive. So and also it makes good sense. So now I want to do one more animation effect. That is, I just don't want the same costumes to be used again and again. So I just want to switch between both. So whenever I'm clicking on the keys, for example, right arrow, left arrow, whatever the keys I'm pressing. So I just want my Pacman to change its costume. So let's see how to do that. When flag left, forever, if key any pressed. That means whenever the flag is clicked, forever, I'm going to check if any key is pressed. What I'm going to do? I'm going to switch costumes. That's it. switch costume to Pacman 1, switch costume to Pacman 2. In between, I'm going to add a wait second, or else the fastness of the costume change won't be visible to our eyes. So let's say wait 0.3 seconds. Let's see the output now. Can you see? Okay, let me show it on the full screen. So it's closing, opening. So that's really good. Great. So now this is done. So we are done with the animation and we are done with the direction. So now I'm going to go to the ghost. We are going to code all the 4 ghosts to make it move all around the maze. So let's get started with this yellow maze. Sorry, yellow ghost. So now let's draw a map for this yellow ghost. So this ghost is going to travel in this direction. Let me annotate. Yeah. So it's going to come here. It's going to first reach this position and it's going to go to the top. And then it's going to just cover the whole end like this. And then like here, and then to the very end, and then to the top, and to the center. So as you can see, it's going to start from here. It's going to move up. It's going to cover the whole end position. Am I right? So let's see how to do that. So it's going to be very, very easy. So I'm going to start with when flag lit, go to XY. Because I want to fix this particular position whenever the game starts. Right. So this position is fixed now. So now I'm going to make it come to the center position. So normally what we will do to make a sprite go to a one position to another position. So we can use glide. Right. So I'm going to use glide. I'll fix this position first and then I'll take a glide block. Glide 1 second to this position. Then I'm going to take my ghost and I'm going to put it over here. As you can see, the distance is very high. So if I'm giving 1, it's going to be so fast. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to say glide 1 second. I'm going to change this one as 2 and this one as 0.5 because as you can see, this is a very, very small distance, right? So let's see what it's doing. Wow, so perfect. So now I'm going to take my ghost over here and I'm going to put it over here. Now, again, I'm going to give glide 2 seconds. And now it's a very small distance. I'm going to say glide 0.5 seconds. That is more than enough. So now, as you can see, this is the longest distance ever, right? So for this distance, we gave 2. For this distance, we gave 2. So now, it's double the length, right? So what we can do for that? I will say glide 4 seconds. I'll make it go up again. Glide 0.5 seconds. Again, I'll make it go to the center. Glide 2 seconds. So let's see how it's working so far. Great. So, but there is one mistake. It's happening only one time. So let's see what we can do to make it happen multiple times. So I'll try forever block, but not here. I'm going to make it over here because if I'm giving it over here, see what is happening now. This is not good. So it's going down, again it's going up and it's starting rotating. So I don't want that to happen. So I'll say like this. So let's see the final output now. But there is a mistake. It's waiting here for 2 seconds because the reason is we made one code to make my sprite to go over here and it's like 2 seconds to 11 and 158, right? So I'll remove this. I'll also make this one outside it. So now let's see. Perfect. There is no flaws, right? So this is really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with the other ghost. So let's get started with the pink ghost. So it's here. So now let's draw the map for the pink ghost. So let me take a annotation. Okay, again, it's going to go to the center. It's going to be the exact same concept like orange ghost. What we are going to do is we are going to make it for the opposite directions. That's it. So let it go here and make it go here. Make it go up. Make it go a little bit like this. I just want to cover the whole bottom position with my pink ghost. So yeah, kind of perfect. Okay. So this is the map for my pink ghost. So again, the same concept we are going to use. When flatlit, I'm going to fix this position for my pink ghost. And then let me put this in the center position. And I'll say glide 0 0.5 seconds to the center position. After center position, it needs to go to the bottom. So I'm going to make it place over there, and then I'm going to use glide 2 seconds to that position, and then it's going to move towards this side. I'm going to say glide again 2 seconds. Here we will say glide 0 0.5 seconds as the distance is very small. Here I'll say glide 1 second. That would be perfect. Here again 0 0.5 seconds. Here it's going to come to the center position again. Let's say glide 3 seconds. Glide 0 0.5. Let it be 1. Glide again 0 0.5. Okay, here it's going to be 2 seconds. So let's see how our code is working. Great, it's working perfectly, right? So now again we need to add a forever block. We should not consider this. We should not consider this. We just have to start with this, right? So we need to avoid 2 glides, right? This is 1 and this is 2. So let's add it over here. Oh, I avoided 3. That's my mistake. So now let's see. As you can see, they are going to the end at the same time and they are going in the opposite directions. Great. So there is no lagginess and it's working perfectly so far. So now let's see what is our next step. So our next step is going to do the coding for the next ghost, that is blue ghost. So I'm on blue ghost right now. So only this red ghost and blue ghost is going to cover most of the places in the maze. So let's draw a map for that. Okay, it's going to start from here. Okay, it's going to go here, here. I just want to cover all the missed out spaces in here. This would be enough, I guess, for the blue ghost. For the red ghost, we will do that later. So we will make the red ghost cover this side of the position. So the top ghost is covering all these positions, this pink ghost is covering all these positions. So then the whole mazes will be covered. Only few places left. If you are just covering the whole maze, then it might make the player get bored of our game. So I don't want to do that. I'm just going to follow it in this way. So let's get started. So I'm in blue ghost right now. So when flag lit, again go to XY. Okay, great. So now it's going to go here. Again the same gliding story. So it's going to be 0.25 because it's very small. And then your, let's make it as 0.5. I don't want to make it more complicated. So I'll say 0.5 again. Everything is kind of a very small distances. That's why I'm just keep on giving 0.5 seconds. So now here it's the big distance. So I'm going to give say 3 seconds. Here let's give 1.5 seconds. Yeah, let's see this now. Oh no. Okay, actually there is one miss. Oh my god. Okay, so here there is a miss. Where I just added go to random position, glide 0.5 seconds to random position, which is a big mistake. So first I'm fixing up the position, then I need to make it go up. So that's my target. So glide 0.5. Oh, again. Glide 0.5 seconds. It's 2, 10 and 49. Let's see the output now. Great, so it's working perfectly. So again, I just want to leave 2 glides. Let's see how it's working. Very good. So this is what I want and I achieved it using these glide blocks. So now I'm going to do the final ghost, so which is a red ghost. I'm going to take annotation. Okay, so here it's going to start from here. Again the same story. So here to here. Let me do some different things to it. Okay, I'm going to make it go here and then here and then here. I just wanted it to be same as the blue ghost. So there will be some uniformity in it. So let's make it over here. Let's try to kind of connect it. So kind of good. Right, so this is what I want. I'm going to do the same set of codes again. When flag lit, go to XY. First, let's take my ghost and fix it in this position, which is going to be glide 0.5 seconds. And here, obviously, this is a very small distance. I'm going to say glide 0.25 seconds. Then here, 0.5. 0.75. Let me check how it's working so far. Oh, so the glide stopped working. So let me do one thing. I'll save the project and I'll try to refresh it. Okay, so let's start the coding for the red ghost again, because the glide second wasn't working before. So I'll say go to XY. As here, which is going to be the center. When flag left, go to XY. Great. So now let's use the glide seconds. Let's check whether it's working first. Yeah, this one is working perfectly. And in your glide, okay, it's changing. Good. So whenever the glide stopped working, we can just refresh our screen. It will work. Great. So now let's make it go here. Okay, glide again 0.5 seconds. Okay, I'll say glide 3 seconds for this long distance. Here I'm going to say 2 seconds. And then just connecting it back here. Let it be maybe 2 again. Okay, let's see how it's working so far. Great, it's working perfectly. So I just want to repeat this again and again. What I'm going to do is let me add a forever after 2 glides. Let's see. Great. So it's so perfect. So this is what I want. So let's see the movement of all the ghosts at the same time. So I'll clear all the annotations. Let me just maximize it. Okay. Great. So all the ghosts are working perfectly. So now what I'm going to do is we need to add on coins. Okay, and also we need to make our Pacman die whenever it's touching the ghost. And also we can add some power-ups to give some extra lives to the Pacman. So let's do all that now. Let's do the main important thing in this whole Pacman, stopping the game whenever the Pacman is touching the ghost. So let's start with that. So whenever the flag is cleared, it can be any ghost. Blue, pink, red or orange. No matter what, I want to stop the game whenever the Pacman is touching it. Right. So forever, if touching orange ghost. But while I'm having like this, I need to do it 4 times. If touching orange ghost, play the losing sound and stop the game. If touching red ghost, play the lose sound and stop the game. Rather than that, we can use one operator called as or operator. So either orange ghost, either it can be orange ghost, or let me duplicate it, or it can be a red ghost, or it can be a pink or blue ghost. So I need to add another OR block. Okay, great. So it can be blue ghost. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to drag it. It might be quite long, but it's more easy. It's kind of a lifesaver. So now I'm going to go to sounds. So I'm ready with the loop. I wasn't sure whether I'm sharing my sound. Let me do that. So this is the sound I'm going to play, and then I'm going to say game over. Let's do that. I'll say start sound loose, and then I'm going to go to backdrops, and I'm having another backdrop. I'm going to duplicate it. My another backdrop is going to be game over. Okay, great. So okay, switch backdrop to Pacman, or the second backdrop which we have created, and then I'm going to use stop all. Oh, there is a mistake. So whenever the game starts, I need to set switch backdrop to Pacman. So then whenever the game starts, it will be Pacman. Then only whenever the Pacman is switching the ghost, we will have the game over backdrop. Let's see. There is some. Oh, okay, I got that. Okay, so let's touch it. Oh, that's it. Can you notice that we can't able to hear the sound fully? So the reason is we have just used start sound loose. What I'm going to do is, okay, let me use play sound until done. Let's see the output now. It's my bad, okay, because whenever the game starts, the ping ghost is rushing to go to the end. So at the time, I need to move quickly. So yes, like this. Okay, I'm going to. But until the sound ends, everything is still happening. But I want to stop my Pacman movement, right? So how can I do that? So I'm going to say, before this, I'm going to say stop other script in sprites. After playing the whole sound, I'm going to say stop all. Let's see this. Okay, so I need to be very quick in this. Okay, let's try. Let's try in touching any ghost. As you can see, I was just trying very hard to move my Pacman, but it's not happening. So this is what I want, and this is a really good output. So now, the next step is adding coins to the Pacman game. So which is really exciting for the players to collect it. So I'm going to search for a ball, okay, which is here. Okay, I'm definitely going to reduce the size to maybe 20 or something. Okay, even that is kind of big. Okay. So now let me just start with this in here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, whenever the game starts, these coins should show up, right? So what I'll do is, when flag is clicked, show. And then, whenever the Pacman is touching it, it needs to hide, and also we need one point. For example, say let's create one variable called coins collected, and how much ever coins we are collecting, we will get notified for it. Let's create a variable called coins collected. Great. So I'll just make it like this. Okay, this is perfect. If forever, obviously, if touching Pacman, change coins collected by 1 and hide. Let's see how it's working. Great. So I'm getting. Okay, so as you can see, my coins collected get increased by 1. So this is what I want. Even if I'm clicking on the flag, it's still, I don't want that to happen because I'm going to set it to 0 whenever the flag is clicked. So set coins collected to 0 whenever the flag is clicked. So now it's going to be more and more easy. We just need to duplicate it and we need to fix it all over the screen, all over the maze. That's it. So for example, like this. It's our wish. We can even make hundreds of balls to make it more and more interesting for the players to continue the game. So like this. We can also create some good spacing. Let's duplicate that, and I'm just going to cover a little bit of the space, and I'm just going to leave it up to your creativity to make it even more better and good. Okay, I'm just duplicating it and I'm fixing it in the position. Okay, that's it. I just want to cover this much of space. Okay, so now I just want some good spacing in between. Great. So can you see how good it's looking? So let me just do a few more balls. Okay, something like this. So now see, and actually it's being very blank, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more extra thing to it. For this coins, I'm going to add a sound called coins. So I'll just go here. I'll go to this ball. Okay, let me go to sounds. Let's search for a coin. Wow, perfect. So I'll just add it over here. If touching Pacman, start sound coin. If touching Pacman, start sound coin. Okay, I did a mistake. I just need to add this for all the coins to get the output. But actually, while you're doing the first coin itself, we can just implement this. It's going to be coin. So what are these two spells are available actually? It's here. Okay, let me check it over there. And this one is here. Okay. Okay, I just really want to rectify this. Whenever the game starts, this pink ghost is rushing to get to the Zen, but this Pacman is very poor. It's getting lose again and again. So what I'm going to do is, whenever the game starts, I'm going to wait for 1 second. Only then I'm going to make it move. So first, when flag clicked hide, wait 1 second, then show. This would be perfect. 1 second isn't enough. Let's say 1.5 seconds, maybe. Perfect. So can you see? So only after the ping ghost crossing that particular position, this Pacman is showing up. So that is the good thing. So now, perfect. So this is one of the ghosts where I added the coin sound, and the another one should be here. Okay, great. So this is how it will work. I guess the coin concept is also clear. So now the final thing is the power up. Right. So let's see what that power up is going to do. For Pacman power ups, I'm going to take a star sprite. Let's take a star from sprites. I'm going to set the size to 30. Okay, not so good. Let's make it as 40 maybe. Okay, this is good because I want it to be more visible, because this is one of the advantage in the game, right? So that's supposed to be more and more visible than the other sprites. So when flag click, I'm going to show the power up, and then forever if it's touching the Pac-Man, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change lives by 1, and I'm going to make it go to the random position. Change lives by 1 and go to random position. So now let's see what is happening now. Oh, oh no, oh no. Actually, this game was really kind of bit hard. Let's try my level base to it. Okay, so okay, I got escape. Oh no, no. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, great. So whenever I'm touching that, my lives are getting increased, but it's just continuing from where I left. So what I'll do is I'll say set lives to 1 whenever the game starts. And then can you see after touching it, it's just there in the mid of the blue, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size to 30, and I'm going to say if touching blue color, because I don't even want this star to touch the blue color. So if touching, rather than mouse pointer, I'm going to say if touching color. So if touching blue, go to random position until it's not touching the blue color. So that's what I'm going to say. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, let's try. Great. I already touched it once. I just wanted to touch it again. But once I'm touching it once, it got increased by 1. So what I'm going to do is whenever my Pac-Man is touching the power up and it's having 1 more extra lives, I wanted to live even if even after touching the ghost. So that's what I want to do basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Pac-Man. So rather than saying if touching orange ghost, red ghost, pink ghost, stop all, what I'm going to do is whenever it's touching these ghosts, I'm going to change lives by -1, and then I'll say wait 1 second, or else we can also make my Pac-Man go to the center. But rather than that, let's say wait 1 second, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another script called when flaglet forever and if block. Okay, forever and if block. In that I'm going to check if my lives equal to 0. Basically, the concept is whenever the game starts, the lives is equal to 1, right? So even if we are touching the ghost for one time, it will become 0, right? So what I'm going to do is, if lives is equal to 0, stop the game. What if I'm just touching the power up? My lives will be 2. At the time, I can even able to survive for one more time. As like the real Pac-Man game. So let's see. Okay, where is the star? It's kind of bit hard to catch it, it seems. Let's try. Oh, great. So now my lives is 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to touch the ghost. Can you see? I'm still surviving. Right. So now let's touch it for one more time. I'm going to die then. Okay, so which ghost can I touch? Okay, no one is ready. Okay, let's see. Let's wait in here. Great. As you can see, it worked perfectly, right? So now this is how the power up will work. And also we can add one more thing to the power up. So we can also change coins collected by 100, as it's kind of a bonus for us. So I'm going to make something like this. You can also create some fruits in this Pac-Man, or else you can also create two more extra power-ups, and you can also create a lot of balls, like a lot of coins, and you can place it all over the maze. So that's how it's going to be. How it's going to look after adding all the things that I told you. So you can just create a lot of coins and you can place it all over the screen. And can you see? I just created two power-ups for this, and there is a lot of ghosts. So you can also do it in the same way. So let me touch the power up. Great. So I got two lives. So let me touch the ghost now. I'm not dying. I'm just going to the center position instead. I touched it for one more time and I was dead. So this is how it will be. So we are done with the whole Google Pac-Man maze game in Scratch. Thank you so much.